So Sony they put out a blog post the last week, and it was announcing the games that are going to be part of the September, what games are going to be part of PlayStation Plus, as well as what's going to be coming to, if you're a member of Extra or Premium, you have access to their catalog, I think is what they call it. Mm-hmm. I'm not a member of either of those two tiers. And just kind of what games may be coming in through there, which, oddly enough, because you had mentioned it, Sea of Stars is on there as well. So if you're an Extra or Premium
on
person,
PlayStation?
and you have PlayStation, you have access to that game as well.
Nice.
But they had announced, after they announced those games and scroll down, they're like, oh, and also we're going to just kind of try to sweep it right there at the end. They were announcing that they were going to be increasing the price of PlayStation Plus. Strangely enough, only the annual subscription version. So it seems like the monthly and the 3-month variants of it are not being touched.
Because those are still ripoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Sorry. What I mean is you save money by buying the year.
Right.
If you bought it every month, you'd be paying way more than you would over the year. Yes. So I'm saying it makes sense that those aren't changing, since those are already more than the year is on its own.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
Sorry to call it a ripoff.
And it is like it's a strange. So some people, and when I say people, I mean like news outlets, are kind of tying it into like, oh, we recently, like a month or so ago, whatever, like Game Pass announced that they were going up by $2 on the tiers or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they're like, okay, so you had to expect that at some point Sony was going to follow suit it with some type of price increase kind of thing. Strangely enough, which I don't remember if this was part of when Microsoft did their increase, or if this has been the case for a while and I just didn't pay attention, because I'm kind of, to Gabe's point, I always, anytime I buy something, I just buy the annual version. I don't ever do the month to month or 3 months or any of that kind of stuff. Apparently Game Pass doesn't even offer the annual ones anymore. You can only do it monthly, which I was not aware of that. So that apparently is not a thing anymore. You can only do a month, or I think maybe you could still do 3-month increments.
And they got rid of the dollar one.
Yes.
In preparation for Starfield, they did away with that.
If not permanently, at least temporarily. So over here, just kind of circling back around, so it seems like these price increases are only affecting the 12-month plan, which in theory is the more popular one, because it's, when you look at the bang for your buck, it's always the cheaper one.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So PlayStation Plus has 3 different tiers. They have the Essential tier, which is what PlayStation Plus has always been, where it's just you can play online multiplayer and you get access to a couple free games every month.
Yep.
Then they have the Extra one, which is that same thing, plus it gives you access to some of the library. And then they have Premium, which gives you access to the library, all the previous things, but it also includes various games from, I think, PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2.
And you get the 2 hour. Do you get the 2 hour?
Yeah, you get like demos of way more things, that even games that they don't have demos for, you get to do like up to 2 hour. I think the timeline, depending on the game, shifts a little bit. I don't think it's a blanket 2 hours, but some of them are 2 hours and some of them I think can be a little bit more.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the difference between them. So currently, PlayStation Plus is $60. It's going up by $20. It's going to go up to $79.99.
$80.
PlayStation, yes, it's going to be $80. PlayStation Plus Extra is $100 right now. It's going to go to $135.
Oh, wow.
Woo. And then PlayStation Plus Premium is $120. It's going to go to $160.
Yowzers, that's a lot of money. And the thing that PlayStation Premium is missing is PS Now. If you had PS Now bundled in there, right? Because they don't have PS Now is still like a separate entity, right? Their little streaming situation.
I don't believe it is. It's
is
all
that
one
in
thing
with the
now.
Premium?
I'm pretty sure that it is.
I think it's in with
Extra. I think it's in with Extra as well. Yeah, as long as you have access to that catalog, you can do the streaming stuff, I believe. Again, I don't subscribe to either. I'm always base model because I'm not much for subscriptions on
I'm
game
Essential
stuff
as well. In fact,
I just do the thing, whatever I need to make sure I can play online multiplayer stuff, and that's basically all that I do. But I believe if it's not an Extra and in Premium, it's at the very least it's in Premium, because PlayStation Now is not a thing anymore. Like, it rolled in when they created this. That all rolled in.
I thought it
to
was
at least
separate.
one of the tiers. I don't believe that you have access to the cloud stuff with Essentials, or maybe it's just because I never do it. Maybe that's why I'm not paying attention to it. But yeah, so I mean, like it's stair steps, but it is interesting that they did it in different increments per tier.
Yeah,
that's kind of
it's not 20 across the board. Yeah. And then how much?
Because that's what I would have expected.
And then how much is Game Pass?
If you do Game Pass Ultimate, it's $17 a month, so it still comes out to like $204 a year. So in theory, PlayStation Plus Premium, granted they have different angles to their services.
Yes, absolutely.
But they're the most comparable. It still comes in cheaper than a year's worth of Game Pass, but you could, depending on what you're into, you could make the argument, especially for your gaming style, the Game Pass makes more sense for you or whatever, assuming you have access to both platforms. So, yeah, because Game Pass, its killer feature, if you want to say it that way, is that Microsoft Studio games, and some other ones occasionally as well, but definitely Microsoft Studio games drop on the service day and date, whereas PlayStation, they don't put their first-party games on there the day that they drop.
Right.
They'll come like a couple months later. I think at most it's like 3 months later or something, something like that. Again, I don't subscribe to either, so I don't know for 100% sure. Or from
I'm in the middle tier right now, I think.
You've got
extra.
And these so these subscriptions, the price increase took effect starting today if you're buying new. But it won't, obviously, it just if you have auto renew on the next time that your service comes up. Because if you've stacked like several years, this obviously isn't going to affect you for a while. Because some people, especially in our community, have done that for like 3 or 4 years. I think I'm like a lot of people, I'm a couple of years ahead. So I think 2026 will be the next time I'm needing to purchase into it.
I'm due the 15th.
And this is a bummer. And I mean, it's something that, nobody wants to have. It's not all that strange that it happened because prices of everything have been going on across the board. But something that I will say, especially because we're moving into holiday season, pay attention. A lot of times, especially as you get around Thanksgiving and Black Friday and that kind of thing, you're going to find places that give you deals on whatever your platform's subscription price is. You're likely going to find something. So just maybe even more diligently keep your eye open for that kind of thing. See if you can still find yourself a deal or whatever.
Yeah. It's just interesting because, like, I guess saying the dollar amount is fine, do like something going up 33% is a lot. Like that's a big jump to say something $60 and then is now $20 more.
Yeah,
right.
That's a big jump, right? Or am I tripping?
Well, no, I feel like it's a big jump, especially to just be kind of like something like, and we're raising the prices. Not like, and we're now, but you'll also get this. It's like, no, we're just raising the prices.
Well, and especially the first one when it's like, this is just really online play and the 4 free games a month.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like that lowest tier is anything to write home about.
Yeah, I kind of like you, Gabe. Mine's, I think, expires in 2025, but I'm at the middle tier as well, but I don't use, as soon as I saw this news, I immediately dropped to Essential because I don't use any of the extra stuff
I don't either.
that comes with it.
Wow. I got to look. I don't know when mine is. Tim, you said yours is like right around the corner?
Mine is September. I just looked it up, and mine is September 15th, and I have the Essential, and I barely used it, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Mine
is July 20th, 2024.
Nice.
And it'll be, and I'm PlayStation Plus Extra.
Ooh. We always knew you were extra, Gabe.
I know. Everybody knows I'm extra. So, yeah, $100 next year. It says next payment, $100, but you're saying it'll be more than that after today, right, Chris? They'll change it.
Well, so it's weird because if you're buying new, yes, it goes into effect today. But if you have your auto subscription, it says that the auto renewal, anything past November 6th is when it kicks in, which is, I don't know why that distinction. That's a little bit weird, but yeah, if you're, because when you go into PlayStation Plus, I don't know how it works on the Xbox side, but when you go into play, I'm sure many people aren't doing the vice versa, but you can change, like if you're in premium, you can move down, or if you can do that and it'll retroactively just either refund you or it'll show you what you're saving, or it'll say like, oh, you only need to do, because you're not buying a full year, you'll like, oh, only need 7 months of it, so you only have to pay this price. So I think what it's getting at is that starting the 6th, that's when all the new pricing for anybody doing any of that moving around will take into effect. I think that's what it means, but then it's not worded particularly well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we hate to see things get more expensive, but we also understand that it does happen and needs to happen, especially over these last couple of years when, gaming has not always, but gaming the last 20 years, 25 years has been a really good deal. Considering that games, on SNES were $80. And then we were at $60 for a long time. Then we balked at $70, but understood. And I didn't write this story down. I should have, but it's rumorville that, and I don't know if you guys saw it, that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be $150. The game. That's rumorville. I think they're going to figure it out, but they've said that so far they've spent like something like $2 billion on creating that game. You got to remember when the last one came out was forever ago, and so this is all from the leaks and leaky.
Yeah, they'll make
type
it back
thing.
in the first week.
That's exactly right.
Exactly.
That is exactly right. Wow.
Thank you, Christopher.